All right. In today's class, Academic Daddy will be teaching you everything about stoichiometry. So you need to know that this was stoichio. Stoichio means study. Yeah? And what should I say? What you have to do, you have to do with chemicals. Chemical study. Then this one has to do with measurements. So put together is chemical measurements. So stoichiometry can be said to be the qualitative and quantitative relationship between reactants and products in a chemical reaction. So it is the qualitative and quantitative relationship between reactants and products in a chemical reaction, or you can say it's the measure of reactants and products in a chemical reaction. So once you know this, we need to treat questions today. So when treating anything on moles, these are different ways to expect questions. Either they are asking you questions that relates to converting mole to mole, or they're asking you a question that relates to converting mole to gram, that is mole to mass, or converting grams to mole, or they're asking you a question that relates to converting grams to grams. So let's take the first question we have here. The first question says, how many moles of oxygen are required to react with 12 grams of carbon to produce carbon monoxide? How many moles of oxygen are required to react with 12 grams of carbon to produce carbon monoxide? Before you can solve this question, you need to first get the chemical equation. So carbon and oxygen is O2. To produce carbon monoxide is CO. Now you need to balance this. Check this out. This is carbon here, 1 carbon. This is oxygen here, 2. So the oxygen at the right hand side is just 1. It needs to balance by putting 2 here. Remember I told you that in balancing chemical equation, you cannot put anything down here or here, but you can always put something at the coefficient part, or you call it this super sets, but you can't put anything on the subset. So if I know this, when I put 2 now, carbon is now 2 on this side, oxygen is 2. So to make carbon on the left balance with the carbon on the right, I will still come and add 2 here. So everything is balanced. So the minute I write this, you need to know that this means 2 is to 1 is to 2. The work of coefficient is to tell you the mole, the amount of mole, or the number of molecules. So the fact that there is nothing before this means that there is invisible 1 here, which means you have 1 mole of oxygen. So now you have it. So this is your given mole from your stoichiometric coefficient. Now the next thing is to ask yourself, the question gave you 12 grams of carbon. 12 grams of carbon. So it gave me 12 grams of carbon against X gram of oxygen. So always notice what you are asked. Anytime you're given a question in mole, always solve for the given value and what you are asked. Always solve for the given value against what you are asked to find. The other parts that they tell you it produce, or something that is there that is not talked about, or they tell you it has something, but they did not give you any value for it, and they did not tell you to find it, you have no business with it. Always focus on finding the given value against what you are told reacted, or what does not have any value, but you are asked to find either the mole or the gram or whatever they ask. So looking at this, we have they're asking us how many moles of oxygen, and we are given 12 grams of carbon. So that 12 grams of carbon simply means that carbon, naturally, the atomic mass, or you say molar mass of carbon, is 12 grams per mole. So if I know that, now I know that mole amount mole is the same thing as mass over molar mass. So if I know that, here I'm given mass of 12 gram all over 12 gram per mole. This cancel this cancel this, so that I have just one. Let me write it here, just one mole. So if I have just one mole, that means, you know that for oxygen, naturally, I don't have anything for oxygen for the mole. So I have x gram, then I have x mole. So let me bring it down. That means that carbon against O2 now, I have the coefficient giving me 2:1. Then with what I'm given, I have 1 mole is to x mole. So cross multiply, so that I get 2x equals to 1 times 1 is 1. X is the same thing as saying divide both sides by 2, equals to 1 over 2, which is equals to 0.5. So this is 0.5 mole. So oxygen is going to be 0.5 mole. So oxygen is 0.5 mole. And even you will know, it's easy to find out. See, the ratio here is 2:1. Shebi 2:1 is what you have as your ratio. Now look at this. When you solved the gram given to you against the molar mass, you got 1 mole, and the ratio you have here is 2:1. That means if you got 1 mole, if it's 2:1, it means that carbon is twice greater. Should I say not twice, but uh half of 2 is 1, so it's like half greater than oxygen. So that means if you are getting 1 mole, half of 1 mole should be 0.5. That is why you got 0.5 mole for oxygen. So this is going to be 0.5 mole O2. So that's the answer. So this is 0.5 mole O2. Now the situation where we want to find the gram of oxygen, all we need to do is to use the same formula. Mole equals to mass over molar mass. And you know that mass is what has gram. So we'll now come and say the mole of oxygen, now we've gotten it to be 0.5. Then mass, we don't know, that's what we want to find, gram, against molar mass of oxygen is 32. That is 16 times 2, 32. So that means we'll now do anything standing on this one is over 1, cross multiply, so that this will be 0.5 times 32 equals to mass. And you know that 0.5 is the same thing as half times 32 equals to mass. So this is the same thing as 1. So this is 16 grams of oxygen.